So they really do like the magic concept to the Huddersfield Giants, and despite their lowly position in the table, they've shown signs in recent weeks of getting their act together. Coach Rick Stone beginning to have an influence on things. A battling performance last time out in defeat against the Castleford Tigers. A big win against the Leeds Rhinos in the game before that. And so they're looking to maintain the form that they've been showing against this Catalan Dragons side, who've got all sorts of injury problems. Martin Ridyard, a new recruit to this Huddersfield team. Catalan missing a host of players: Baitieri, Horo, Anderson, Jody Broughton disappeared from the Catalan Dragons side with his injury problems. They do have Greg Bird back though. Chris Campbell, referee for this first game of day 2 of the Dacia Magic Weekend. In an overcast Newcastle, but very mild, no wind blowing off the North Sea or anything like that. It's great conditions. The pitch standing up remarkably well. 3 games yesterday, lots of action on it as well, with half-time and in-between match displays by dancers, and yet it's looking in great nick, and a credit to the ground staff here at St James's Park as the game gets underway. And Catalan Dragons in their Magic Weekend kit get first touch of the ball. Be interesting to see whose Magic Weekend kit comes out on top at the end of this, because some of the designs, you have to say, have been a little bit scratchy. Sam Moa, first touch for him for this Catalan Dragons side, who are in a bit of a dip. They've lost their last 3 matches. They need a big performance here, Phil.
It's a colourful kit. They need a colourful and bright performance here, don't they, now, to start the second half of the season. They're playing against a team with more time to prepare for this game, but with some new players in it, like Martin Ridyard, who kicked off to restart this, to start this match here today. He's had limited time in Super League this season. Gets a wonderful opportunity here with all the eyes on him to see how good he can be. But the first penalty of the match is awarded against Huddersfield, and the Catalan Dragons, it's almost a dream, isn't it, to begin the match with the penalty on the halfway line. They'll kick to touch and get the first chance to really attack.
First word from Stuart Cummins.
Well, clearly a ball steal, someone round the legs, another one comes in over the tops and just take the ball off him.
So first penalty of the game goes the Catalan Dragons' way, immediately giving them an opportunity to examine this Huddersfield Giants defence. Giants, as has been mentioned in the build-up, refreshed after a good layoff. Catalan still licking their wounds after a club record defeat last time out at the hands of Hull FC. Hard to know what to make of that, because then Hull FC turn up here yesterday and get pasted by St Helens. But here come the Dragons, and the Dragons put the ball down.
Well, we talked him up before the game, Tony Guijo, the fullback, but he couldn't catch and pass as he needed to do under pressure. Huddersfield defenders, look, they have to make decisions, and Aaron Murphy does remarkably well. Plays a lot of the time on the wing, but intelligent enough to defend as a centre as well, where you have to make decisions, and it was a correct one for him to put the opponent under pressure, force that first turnover. Pressure off now for the Giants.
Just stops Tony Guijo, doesn't he? Sees Aaron Murphy in his eye line, thinks, I don't want any of that. And all that field position for naught, Catalan Dragons.
So Huddersfield's first touch of the ball for them. And Jermaine McGilvray back in the side. He's missed the last 2 games, international duty being part of the reason for that. Maintaining his great England record. Ike Heathrow plays the ball. It's on now, on the 40-metre line in the Giants' half, as Ridyard plays the ball. Here's Dale Ferguson now. Some sting in the tackle from the Catalan Dragons early on here. Crew's leaning, imploring referee Chris Campbell that their man was impeded. The kick is a difficult one, but back goes Fouad Yaha to gather the ball and return it for the Catalan Dragons.
First kick, first tactical kick from Martin Ridyard, trying to trap the opponents in the corner. You can see the Dragons want to shift and move around the Huddersfield defenders. If you just run hard and straight at them, you've got enough determination. They're fresh at this point in the game. They need to test them, move them. and then find that quick play of the ball. Benjamin Gassi has been very impressive, and you can tell why. That great footwork there, where he just skipped away from the defender, helping to make a few more metres.
Garcia, one of the players returning, he missed the whole hammering. Remy Casti didn't. He made his 250th Catalan appearance in that game. Not a memorable, well, it was a memorable match, but for the wrong reasons. The ball is offloaded to Bird. Now he's looking for some support out wide. Back on the inside. He'll go for it and get the first try of the game. Myler with the try on his birthday. Richie Myler celebrates. And what a way to mark your 27th birthday. Myler getting the first points on the board for the Catalan Dragons as they put the attack together. And the player who's been ever present this year gets his 8th try of the season.
Well, they used Julian Busquets to great effect. That's a brilliant offload. Myler then waits patiently, looks inside and out, and then Thornley's contribution is an intelligent one too. He just buys some more time for Myler, who he knows will instinctively support the ball carrier. He does it the first time, he waits and waits, and then on the second occasion he then follows up to take the ball back, throws a dummy, and knows that that's the first try, and a brilliant start to this match for the Catalan Dragons.
Richie Myler, a try scorer in the Catalan Dragons' 29-22 win at Huddersfield, just a few days before Easter. And that's got the birthday celebrations off to a good start for the former England international. And Huddersfield, defensively, just caught a little bit wanting there and in a bit of disarray. We've seen that from Catalan so many times this season on Sky Sports. And now Luke Walsh. His birthday was last week. He turned 30. And he's had a great season with the boot. 87% success rate with his goal kicking, and that one squeezes in just inside the upright. And Catalan get the great start they wanted. 6-0 they lead.
Well, that's an excellent start. And what about this for an offload? We've seen him develop over the last few years, Julian Busquets. He's a middleman. He's playing on the edge today, but it was the same setup on the previous play. Huddersfield snatched the runner. Tony Gigot dropped it under pressure from Aaron Murphy. Leroy Cudjoe tried to do the same. He misread it. Catalan adjusted. First try to the Dragons.
Casti driven back, Cudjoe in there to join the tacklers. He's missed the last 6 games, and they have missed their captain, Leroy Cudjoe. Definitely leads by example, and he hasn't been around to set an example because of injury. Here is Greg Bird now. People surprised to see him back after that injury he picked up against Leeds, a facial injury, which it was thought was going to keep him out for some time, but insistent that he was going to play.
That's a powerful run from Kristen Inu down the centre. Ryan Hinchcliffe bumped off the first time, went back for a second effort.
Sam Moa, Remy Casti, the props combining, and Casti trying to get the pass away, looking for Myler again.
Well, Barry often talks about a blind offload where you can't quite see the player. I think he just sensed there was somebody there but didn't know he played for the other team.
They're trying to move the ball around, and you feel that Catalan Dragons, it's a point John Wells made before the start of the game. They're very young and inexperienced on the bench. There's the offload. Gobbled up gratefully and thankfully by Huddersfield.
And the Giants move into Catalan territory. And here is Hinchcliffe now. Hinchcliffe to Ridyard. Ridyard for Ferguson. Ferguson, Collard. Sam Moa making the tackle and the penalty. And there's a ball steal again. Referee Campbell keeping an eye on that aspect.
It's a shame that they couldn't get the ball past Ferguson on that. They had four attackers and I think 1 or 2 defenders. Here's the ball stripped out at this point.
Has he dropped that, Stuart?
No, his arm certainly comes away from his body, doesn't he, with the ball, so it's difficult to see on that angle. This might tell us.
I felt when I watched it in real time he was in that wrestle and that tussle and let go of it.
It's not one of those that looks like he's shot out of the tackle, does it, as it does when it's a ball steal. Difficult to see on that one.
That looked forward, that pass, and the referee has seen a knock on anyway, so that attacking moment comes to an end for the Huddersfield Giants.
It's the same player. Ferguson goes in, heavy contact from the Dragons, but finish my point. John Wells mentioned how young and inexperienced the Dragons were on the bench, so players like Moore, Castett, they'll have to play bigger minutes, and when they come off, they might only get 5 or 10 minutes before they have to go back on. That might be telling in the last 10 minutes of the game, as it was when they played Leeds Rhinos a couple of weeks ago.
Head and feed then for the Catalan Dragons. They withstand that first assault on their try line. Huddersfield coughing up possession.
It was a good tackle, wasn't it, from Greg Bird, who, the way he started the season, would have been a real contender for Man of Steel, and he may still be. We've still got 10 games to go, 9 after this one today, but he does have a massive influence on the way the Dragons play. I think the confidence that they play with too, when he stood out there on the field, here he is with his hands on the ball.
But he hasn't really had an opportunity to stamp his mark on the team. He missed 7 games earlier on in the campaign when he picked up a hand injury. Myler, Walsh, back inside.
Bill, good players can still influence the culture in the environment even when they're not playing. Ideally, the Dragons would like him out there on the pitch, contributing, but he can change the attitude of the players on a day-to-day basis.
Big hits. I think on Jake Mamo it was, returning that ball. I felt that. There was a gasp from the crowd at that.
He wanted at one point. He slipped, didn't he, just before the tackle from Paul Ayton.
Here's Aaron Murphy. Murphy plays the ball about 30 metres out. They've gone for a 40-20. Leeming has seen an opportunity. He was looking towards the sidelines. The ball, though, up the middle of the field.
Hasn't he come on in stature and the way that his team respond to what he does? I've already said about what he does with the ball and his defensive capabilities, but to have the strength of character to pick the ball up from dummy half and think, let's just get out of here.
Good defence that time from Shannon Wakeman and Ryan Hitchcliffe to stop Benjamin Garcia's progress. Paul Ayton, another player, returning. Remy Casti now, and Casti making inroads.
Very little support around him, though. That will disappoint Lauren Freston-Hugh.
Ayton gets the pass. Oh, Sam Moa was looking for somebody on his shoulder as well. Hinchcliffe pleads his innocence. Walsh with time to think about the kick and position it. McGilvray comes for it. The ball's been dropped, and Bousquet will carry on as he knocks it down. I think he's run out of room there, but great agility for a big man, Julian Bousquet. Chris Campbell thinks he's got the try. Ben Thaler's the video ref. Stuart Cummins is our referee up here.
Well, I think he wants to see what happened when the ball came down. Was there a knock-on in there by a Catalan player?
Is Myler offside? Oh, probably is, isn't
He probably
Yeah.
is. He's in front of the kicker, isn't he? So we probably don't need to go too far on this. I think he's got to have both feet behind the ball, I would say, looking at that. His right foot is in front of the ball. So I think this one may well be chalked off. It seems to be 2 Huddersfield players who are involved in the collision, but I do think that Myler is in front of the kicker. He's seen that he's within the 10 metres, and this one will be disallowed.
That it is. Julian Bousquet did his best, though.
Well, the Dragons fans never believe that the video ref works in their favour. Every decision they tend to think goes against them, and this is one which the referee had felt was a fair and legitimate try to Julian Bousquet, but it's chalked off. And Huddersfield survived. They're 6-0 down. We've had 10 minutes start here from the Dragons, where they do look like a decent side who can score on to score this. The test is now for Huddersfield not to lose their confidence.
Bousquet has been, you said, Barry, he has been a star man for the Catalan Dragons and in Super League this season. A fantastic effort that was.
At the early part of his career, he did have some mistakes, he did have some loose offloads. He's tightened all that part of his game up, and then the fact that he's playing on the edge as well means his coach has confidence in the rest of his skill set.
They get the penalty, do Huddersfield, and that pushes Catalan right back to their own try line. Denied a try just a moment ago, and now under pressure, Catalan, but that's a tackle.
It's chopped him in two.
He does jump into it, Ikehivi thought.
Well, he bounces back up again, that's the thing. Here's Alex Mellor, and Mellor is tackled just short of the try line. It was Thornley doing the tackling for the Dragons, and it needs to be a good tackle. Ridyard keeping it simple, Martin Ridyard. Lee Gaskell, his new half-back partner, he's missed the last 2 games as the former Bradford Bulls man. Hinchcliffe and the short ball. Shannon Wakeman. Huddersfield in front of their own supporters at end of the ground, hammering at the line and getting over the try line. And Lee Gaskell it is, stretching out his lanky frame, all 6'3" of him, to get the Catalan Dragons response. And Lee Gaskell, his 4th try of the season. And the penalty proving very costly indeed.
Well, the Giants were desperate for some field position, weren't they? They felt if they got closer, they could get over the line. Here, interference, he's held down for too long. And the referee then, with that penalty, put Huddersfield into a position. But it's the pass here, the try-pass from Cruz Leeming. There's a lot of pressure on the player to deliver that, to hit the right man at the right time. And the fact that he's spending longer on the field is helping to boost the confidence of Leeming. It's Hinchcliffe, the other number 9, you would say, in the side, who runs through to deceive the defenders. Lee Gaskell now hopes his colleague, Martin Ridyard, can add 2 points and they can end up back straight.
Bit of an inquest for the Catalan Dragons players as Martin Ridyard lines up his first conversion attempt for his new club. Just wide is Ridyard on a 1-month deal. Rick Stone animated alongside Chris Thorman, back on home territory, of course. The former Wallsend Boys Club footballer, Chris Thorman.
Well, it's Remy Casti on his try line, doesn't get forward, and he can't get forward. Ryan Hinchcliffe has his attention, he doesn't react quick enough, and it's the first Huddersfield try to Lee Gaskell. It was interesting, I was talking to Eddie Hemmings on the way up about the balance of the half-backs, and possibly when coaches are trying to profile the half-back partnership, they want a thinker and they want a runner. Well, Gaskell's a runner, Ridyard is going to ask to do the alternative job. On the Catalan side, their balance is pretty good. We've already seen Myler, his support, playing his running game.
So Huddersfield on the scoreboard. Here's Shannon Wakeman.
Move!
For the Giants, Ridyard, Martin Ridyard saw him before the game, and he said he came down to breakfast in the team hotel this morning. The first person he saw was his club chairman, Derek Beaumont. Lee letting him go on loan, but Martin Ridyard happy to do that. He wants to get some game action.
Potentially, you know, Huddersfield have wasted a chance. They had a gap out wide, but the pass isn't taken in. Alex Mellor drops it, and then I think it rolls forward. A teammate, is it Leeming then who picks it up? Should this be a penalty instead?
Well, it's certainly called from the side. I think Warren Turley's calling for the offside, but Chris Campbell decided to go with the knock-on.
Let's keep this scrum sidey.
Difficult to see there where he's actually come from. So it was very close.
Head and feed then for the Catalan Dragons.
Well, I'm surprised Martin Ridyard actually recognised his former chairman, because he must have lost about 5 stone. So Derek Beaumont and the good doctor this morning getting ready for their way in.
Here come the Dragons now, about 10 metres out. They posted the first points with that Richie Myler try. Garcia now. Clubs, opposition teams alert to the threat he poses now, because he had such an impact on the competition. Sam Moa can't take that pass. It's still alive, and the ball round the corner. Fuad Yahan steps back in field, and somehow the Giants scramble across. At one point they were outnumbered there, but they concede the penalty in their desperation to slow things down.
Sam Moa's skill was sensational, wasn't it? He dropped it, kicked it, and then the team caught it again. He's off again.
Here he is. He's really wound up. Well, the props have been dominating proceedings. They had a field day yesterday in Magic Weekend Moments, but they've lost that ball, and it's another prop. I think it was Busquets went without that one.
I think it was more of a poor pass than the props fault, really. 2 defenders.
It's a hard pass, wasn't it?
Oh, don't you start.
Watch, look.
It's a hard pass and in contact. As he's trying to collect that ball, he picks up an arm. Is it Gaskell that just pings the ball out of his arm.
He's almost tackled before the possessions come. This is a Sam Moore, chips it up, Jake Mamo pats it back, and Luke Walsh plays on.
They could have done better here. Chris Naninu just couldn't get that pass out to Fuad Yaha.
What do you think that play is called, Phil? And he catches it, kicks it, and hits the fullback.
Heads in, hold your chase.
The lucky one.
1 in 4.
Let's go, Lee. It's
Kick
out.
and catch.
So a let off for the Huddersfield Giants. Here is Leroy Cudjoe.
Hold with me.
Bit of ground to make
Go,
up
one.
for the Giants captain, who's back for his first game since March the
2, move to
31st.
10. Hold, hold. Go, 2.
Aaron Murphy. Off goes Cruz Leeming.
3.
He has been ever present for this Giants side this season. Dale Ferguson, Murphy.
They worked that short side very well there, didn't they? With 4 consecutive players all down that 10-metre channel. And they got a chance to swing it right to the light.
Ridyard, Gaskell. Ooh, Gaskell just blocked as he tried to get the pass wide. Jake Mamo chips ahead. Shigo waits for it, and it pays off. But the chase is good from the Giants, and they are hounding the fullback. Ikahihi Fo leading the challenge there.
Fortunate not to be penalised there when he dragged the player back. The referee thought the tackle had been completed. It was lenient, didn't blow the whistle, and that's 3 of the 6 players gone. They're still inside their own 20. Here he is, dragged back towards his own line.
Catalans struggling to make headway then against some determined defending. Here is Paul Ayton now across the field, looking to link up with Bousquet. And Bousquet bumps off the first, off the second, and is then bundled to the ground. That's the 5th tackle. They've got their own 40, but then they've knocked on. And the knock-on, Tony Gigot protesting to Chris Campbell there.
Well, we've paid credit to him, Julian Bousquet. Comes off his left edge, trying to find some gap, some chink in the armour of this Giants defence as he's getting up. There is a little push from Ikahihi Fo, there is.
I think it's, is it Hinchcliffe? Is it his hand that goes in? Pushes it out.
Missed that one, did the match official.
You'd still expect, though, the sides to hold and control the ball better. We saw a wonderful example yesterday at St Helens. Did they have the ball 38, 39 times? They made just 2 mistakes in the entirety of the match. They obviously involved in a lot of collisions, a lot of contact. Both of these sides have been too loose to start.
Gaskell stumbling. He had to, first of all, turn and claim that pass, and then to regain his balance. Here's Dale Ferguson. Doesn't take a lot for the Catalan Dragons to start thinking that they are being badly done to by the match officials. And they might just be starting to think that today. Here is Jake Mamo, who's had such an impact on this Huddersfield Giants side. That ball went to ground, and it's a knock-on, says the referee.
It's a disappointing end, isn't it? We thought the sweeping play across the field, good back line, and then he's half tempted to kick it. As he attempts to pass the ball, Myler's hand just touches his arm, and as a result, the referee says it's a knock-on. I'm not sure the pass, does it go forward out of his hands?
Well, it looks like it on that angle. The fact that he's running forward, it seems to go with his momentum, so it's come out forward. Just got to go towards the opponent's in-goal area. So it's one side of the line to the other there, so I think that one's right.
Back of the scrum, please, Lee. Thank you. Yes, go, Richie.
Head and feed to the Catalan Dragons on their own 20-metre line. 2 moments of good play, and then the sides coming up with errors, and indicative of their relative positions in the table. Catalan dropping out of the top 8, with Warrington picking up that point against Wigan yesterday, and then Huddersfield looking to improve on their 10th position. They can close on the Dragons if they are to win this. And Catalan could find themselves in that middle 8 battle if they can't turn things round, but they've got to get players fit.
More immediately in this match here as they lose the ball. They need to try and take a leaf out of Wakefield's book yesterday, which was controlled, it was fast, but then they chased their kicks with such determination it made life difficult to their opponents. Here now, I mean, looks like a hot potato he doesn't want to catch. What he's attempting to do there, Benjamin Garcia, but very, very disappointing.
Subdued is probably what you'd call the atmosphere here at St James's Park on day 2 of the Dacia Matches weekend. The fans still
Let's make sure we're
coming into the stadium, still coming into Newcastle. A lot of them. Some of them probably still just unscrambling one or two brain cells after a night on the toon.
Well, it seems as though the Dragons are trying to unscramble at the moment, isn't it? They've had the ball 10 times, they've dropped it 6 occasions. When they get it again, they need to hold on, hope they can improve their control of possession.
Quick hands from the Giants as they look to capitalise on that Catalan Dragons error. Here is Cudjoe. His footwork is always a threat, and there it is, stepping across the field. Leroy Cudjoe evading the tacklers and then brought down about 22 metres out. Hinchcliffe, Ikehihifo pops the ball over the top looking for Cudjoe, and it was forward, says the referee.
I like that front row, mate, but he's at his best when he's launching himself at the line there. You can see what he's thinking. He's trying to get it to his centre, who took the previous carry.
Not really a forward pass, is it, from up here, but referee's called it so.
Forward, it's miles forward.
Where you are, fellas, where you are?
So.
Let's keep going, come on, fellas.
Yeah.
Let's have another look.
Catalan. Let's keep going, come on, heads in.
Passes it on the line. Cudjoe collects it in front of the line.
Heads in, pull.
That's the momentum of the pass. I think that comes out of his hand
Can't use
backwards.
the word momentum.
I just did.
It's head and feet to the cat. It's too early in the day for commentators, never mind supporters.
Hold. Go, 1.
1:30 on a Sunday.
Well, I think there's a message gone out here now to the Dragons. Listen, let's be simple, let's be controlled, but get to the other end of the field, give us a chance.
Well, 40-20 kick from Luke Walsh might just do that. Has that got the legs? It has. And Walsh comes up with the answer. Now then, Catalan will look to capitalise on that.
Wait for me. On the line, Huddersfield. Ryan,
All offside, aren't they?
Lost some of its magic, that has, now that we have to go through the process of everybody getting in the right position. The whole purpose of it was to try and stimulate a bit of quick play. Here's Sam Moa.
Got more defenders now on a 40-20 than they had when it was a scrum, but still they've 4 players left and they've 4 inches to gain.
And they could be in here. I think it's Busquets.
3 short.
They're short anyway. It was Greg Bird at the bottom of that. Bird is stopped just short. Thornley gets it away. Walsh retrieves it. Flings the ball back inside to Gigo. Huddersfield keeping their defensive line as the Catalan Dragons fullback is tackled. But Catalan lost ground as a result, and they've lost tackles. They're on the last now. Myler, little grubber kick comes in, and Huddersfield managed to snaffle that. And it's their fullback, Jake Mamo, who's gone down to gather that ball.
Well, they'll be thankful, the Giants, that they put so much pressure on Rich Myler there to stop him getting his kick away. Trapped immediately. Was it Hinchcliffe who got into his face? And then McGilvray's carried the ball forward, and as so often happens, his side are awarded a penalty here. Desperate to try and hold on. Remy Casti does so for too long.
That's a pretty good turnaround, isn't it? You concede a 40-20 kick and you come out of it with a penalty, and you're up to the halfway line.
Keep it low.
Probably one of the reasons why Catalans at the moment aren't fancied by many people to end up in the top 4. You know, they play a lot of games and they often end up 30 points to 28. They don't seem to have that ruthless streak or the control of the game which is necessary. They know they can score some tries, but maybe they don't do it often enough.
Sam Rapira on the field for the Huddersfield Giants, who trail 4-6 here at St James's Park. Day 2 of the Magic Weekend. Game 1, this is. More action to come. The ball's been spilled and Benjamin Garcia has picked it up for the Catalan Dragons. Lee against Salford coming up. Leeds against Castleford rounding off this weekend here at St James's Park. So many people saying yesterday and yesterday evening at the close of play how much they enjoy coming to Newcastle and having Magic Weekend here on the banks of the Tyne. Let's hope it stays here. Lee Salford, Castleford Leeds. There you go. That's the final game. 5:15 Sky Sports 2 for that one. Now then, Catalan with Krishnan Inu. Inu just tackled by Mamo, but the tackle wasn't completed. Now it is, but they're only about 6 metres away from that Huddersfield line. Now then, can they turn this into something? Mikel Simon off the bench and into the action. Here's Walsh now. Walsh, Inu braced for the tackle there, gets the pass away. It's back with Walsh, and Walsh chips ahead, and Mamo, good hands from the fullback to gather that one up.
Well read by the fullback, wasn't it? They tried on the short side. Milan had an attempt at the last kick. This time it went to Walsh. He couldn't really trap the opponents in goal. They're trying to apply some pressure here now with the defence. Inu had a great run to set them into this position. But again, some brave efforts from Aaron Murphy to stop the big centre.
So Huddersfield bring it away again. Here is Jermaine McGilvray up to the halfway line. Represented England in Samoa and maintained his scoring record. 5 tries in 6 England appearances for the Giants wingman. Now here's Ridyard. Ridyard, that's forward, surely. Deary me.
Well, it's given them a decent end result, haven't they? They've got their opponents 5 metres from their own line. When they exert it now, we've just seen a few substitution changes, bit of fatigue setting in. Can the Dragons control the ball here now when they're out of breath as the pass?
Now that's forward.
Early on a Sunday for the match officials, maybe.
I think the issue there was both touches were with the defensive, with the Catalan side rather than the attacking side. So I'm not sure what happened there, but they're out of position.
Well, Catalans survived that, and they bring the ball up to the 40-metre line. Sam Moa gets the pass away. He's had a good opening 27 minutes.
You just sense that it's opening up, don't you, with that offload there, some space now, quicker play, high kick from Walsh.
But Jake Mamo has plenty of time underneath that. It's a very leisurely chase from the Catalan Dragons.
Oh, there's a few tired people in there. The gaps are getting wider from one defender to another. And somebody with pace, like a McIntosh or a McGilvray, might just exploit them.
Or here he is. You said McGilvray. It is early, I'm telling you. Here is Lee Gaskell, scorer of the Giants try.
Sam Moore again involved in. We talked about the shifts that the front rowers would have to do, longer than normal. Huddersfield, they have the luxury of being in players like Sam Rapira on.
Crossfield kick, looking for McGilvray, claimed by Duport for the Catalan Dragons. Made that his ball, very definitely Vince Duport, but there's a lot of him.
But there's a more deliberate end to the sets from the Giants. I'm seeing more purpose in what they're doing. It seems to be a bit erratic when the Dragons get over the halfway line. It's not like they're thinking about how they're going to end the set. They're thinking about how they're going to score a try.
That's Alrich de Costa on, isn't it, now? He just brought fresh onto the field. We need some fresh bodies. That's what Lauren Freshingham thinks. Simon is awarded a penalty, a high tackle. Oliver Roberts, another new entrant to the field.
First involvement, I think, from Oliver Roberts, conceding the penalty.
Well, both sides want a breather for 60 seconds here, while Luke Walsh just talks to his team. Another penalty awarded. The gaps were getting wider. 1 or 2 players starting to walk, and you imagine in the last 10 minutes of this first half, there are more points on offer.
So the penalty for the Catalan Dragons, and they move deeper into Huddersfield Giants territory. Simon plays the ball. Greg Bird playing with that cheek injury. Catalan being very canny about the seriousness of it, but Greg Bird was absolutely determined he was going to play here. Really hasn't had an opportunity to make his mark, and there, Duport almost in at the corner. Foot in touch though.
They did an amazing effort, didn't he? Ground it with his left hand as he's falling backwards. Sadly, his right foot's already hit the touchline. Narrowly there.
McGilvray just does enough, doesn't it? We talk about his work coming away from his own line. He can score a try, but his defence there was bang on.
Let's pack it down, fellas, come on.
He lunges to catch the ball at first, then still on his toes, pushes
Ian, back of the scrum, mate.
the big winger, Vincent Duport.
So you can touch the scrum, mate, yeah? Heads in, stay where you are, hold. Let's go, Martin. It's out.
So Huddersfield survived that.
Play on.
McGilvray, that looked high
Hold. Go, one.
from Thornley, I think it was. But nothing given.
Move. Hold.
Got him
hold,
round the
release,
shoulders.
mate. 2, go.
6-4 the scoreline. Half an hour gone. Wakeman, I beg your pardon.
3, move.
Paul
Hold it in.
Clough it is.
Hold, go, 3.
Huddersfield ringing the changes.
Inside the 14.
Gaskell, 40-20, but hasn't got the angle. And Gigot
Keep it low.
Been
picks
quiet.
it up.
He's been very quiet, Tony Gigot. I'll go back to the point that I made.
1, move, Martin.
Vincent Duport, he
Go,
gets
1.
pushed off the sideline because they're not looking to build pressure, the Catalan Dragons. Players like Luke Walsh should be taking control, trying to spend a little bit of time down on their opponent's try line.
Well, they're a long way from their opponent's try line at the moment, are the
Move, Huddersfield.
Catalan Dragons,
Go, 3.
who have this lead as Mikel Simon, hero last year on this ground for Wakefield, against his hometown club. Now he's back
4, hold.
with the Dragons. Here's Walsh. Puts a step on Walsh. He's got Mamo ahead of him.
Oh, he should have passed it.
Fullback makes the tackle. He did have support, Luke Walsh.
Go, 5.
Krishnan Inu. Myler with a little chip kick. The ball's still loose. And that'll be the turnover.
5th and last.
On the last it was. They couldn't capitalise on it.
He
Well,
had
it's a
to
rare
pass
sight,
that
isn't
ball,
it, to
Luke
see him
Walsh.
take on the line. He's got that brilliant right foot step.
Hold it, remain.
Mamo seen the
Remain,
first
Richie, go.
one, and as he repeated it, he caught him, didn't he? Back on the inside, the support. He'd no intention of looking. Garcia arrived a split second too late for him to see. And it's a survival set here now for Huddersfield, who just about
Hold. Go,
get
2.
away there without conceding.
Another let off for the Giants.
3,
Duport
move,
denied.
Hold, remain for 3. Come
Catalan
on. Hold.
could have
Go,
done
go
better
on.
with that attack.
In the 40.
Ridyard, he's gone for a 40-20, but haven't got
Just
the
short.
angle on it.
Cheers,
Short of that 20-metre line by 3 or 4 metres.
A lot of players walking here now to this scrum as it just rolls over the sideline.
It's quite warm out there. Not a lot of breeze.
Quite
It's
a lot of
solid.
stops in the game.
Sorry, Phil. It's solid without being spectacular from the Giants. In an ideal world, I suspect Martin Ridyard would want a little bit more length, or to keep the ball in the field of play and keep the pace of the game.
Got you, mate.
No indication of a repeat of the drama between these two sides 2 years ago when the Giants led 16-0. Catalan led 22-16.
Just in front, pal.
And then they snatched the draw. McGilvray with a try late on, and Danny Brough, well, hasn't had a mention today, of course, Danny Brough, but absent through suspension with his phenomenal kicking game. Huddersfield are all offside, says the referee.
Well, that's
Another
a
penalty.
massive boost here, isn't it? They're not able to get back on side. It was a brilliant run from the scrum. Vincent Duport gaining the ground, getting it wide away from the scrum, and all of a sudden, without having to do too much effort,
Hold, remain.
their energy level's still high here. They're able to get inside their opponent's 40-metre zone. And we see a look for a combination. We've seen efforts from Myler and once from Walsh, but never as a duo.
Go, 1.
Last 5 minutes of the first half coming up then at St James's Park. Here's Benjamin Garcia, back in the Catalan fold after his brief spell in the NRL with Penrith. Myler, the birthday boy, who's already got a try to his name in this one, and Bousquet has lost that ball, and free play. And here's Jake Mamo, puts the kick back inside, and Gigot is there to go down on the ball, and they'll go back to where the original knock-on happened.
Oh, Greg Bird looking to his teammates, very disappointed in the lack of ability to hold on to the ball.
Time's off already.
Pleading with them to improve their efforts here, screaming and shouting here, desperate. He knows this isn't good enough. They're still ahead on the scoreboard, 6-4. But they're not doing the chances of victory here any good by losing the ball so easily. On so many occasions,
My mind goes back to that game at Hull where Catalan played Hull. I think Greg Bird got the man of the match. He was pivotal in that game. It was a really low-scoring affair, and it was all about completion. It was all about error and risk-free rugby league. Well, it's been the complete opposite today.
Here is McGilvray, the sun just trying to make an appearance.
Release! One with me, Tony! Go one, go with me.
Sky's brightening up. Need the game to brighten up, I think, a bit.
Hold, go, 2.
6-4, Catalan lead.
Well, Giants are looking for that quicker play of the ball. That's when they've looked at their best. Adam O'Brien waiting behind again, patiently for the ball.
4, move to me and hold.
Just inside the Catalan half as Roberts plays that ball, the Irish international. Here is Sam Rapira now. Really physical presence, Sam Rapira runs very hard into the tackles. Ridyard, little step, makes room for himself. That's a good kick into the corner, and Fouad Yaha is invited to gather that by his full-back.
The best kick of the game so far, isn't it now? Can they enhance it here now with some brilliant work in defence and force the Dragons, who've been pretty likely to drop the ball or fumble it, make a mistake here. Just as we're approaching the halfway mark, 4 minutes to go. Team can crack. Look at that long ball here from the Dragons. They're trying to go around. They can't go forward in the middle. And that's most of the set gone.
Here's Mika Simon up to the 30-metre line. That is the 5th tackle. Will it be another 40-20 attempt from Walsh? Well, it's straight into the arms of Darnell McIntosh.
It was very ambitious at best. There were 3 players back, full-back and both wingers, sat in the pockets, waiting ready for that kick.
Get up. Go 1.
I think Leroy Cudjoe's got game changer written all over him, but he just needs to get his hands on the ball a bit more. There are a lot of tired players in front of him.
Hold with me, come on.
Not seen a lot of possession come to the right. It's all been to the left for the Giants.
As it is again with Sam Rapira.
3, move Catalan. Hold, go 3.
Battle going on in the middle of the field, but now they are going wide, and they get the ball to Mamo and then to Aaron Murphy, but Murphy is stopped in his tracks.
Got an England winger on the right wing. I don't recall him having a pass yet.
Gaskell, scorer of the only Giants try.
5, move Catalan with me, Remy. Hold, go 5.
Ridyard, little chip kick over the top. Jake Mamo is chasing it, and Walsh doing ever so well to sweep that up, and then passes out wide to Dupont, and Dupont, well, he looked infield, he looked left, right, then he saw McGilvray. Oh, go on, I'll go there. They come up with a knock-on.
Oh, Vincent Dupont, he does well to catch that ball. I thought Jerome Guisset, the trainer, was going to end up with the ball in his hands at one point. It was a risky pass, good challenge. And that potentially could be a good duel between those 2 wingers. You'd feel certain that Jermaine McGilvray would beat and match his opponent in most areas. There's the mistake. Couple of minutes left in this half now. Huddersfield in good field position. I feel they've been the better side in the opening 37 minutes. They've been more methodical. They've got a little bit more creativity. The blend in the halves is better, and I think they'll score.
Heads in.
So this is a great opportunity for Huddersfield. A couple of minutes of the first half left, and they give the ball a bit of width. Jake Mamo trying to go round the outside, puts the brakes on, loses his footing. Chris Naninu makes the tackle, delays it as long as he possibly can. McIntosh infield to Aaron Murphy now. Murphy tackled by Alrix da Costa. Now it's with Ridyard. Ridyard gets the pass behind him. Jake Mamo is there. Here is Cudjoe, stuttering step from him, trying to wrong foot the cover, but Catalan aren't fooled by that. They straighten up, and that was high, says the referee.
Well, Alex Mellor played a lot at centre. He's been pretty good for Huddersfield this season. He's decided to step and take the line on. Just see how completely slip. The Dragons player slips in front of him. Cast is then penalised, and the Giants have decided they're going to kick for 2 points and try to get level before they take a break.
Reference to that game against Hull might not be far away from the mark.
You know what I mean, though?
ended up being dominated by Luke
You're right.
Walsh's goal kicking. Rick Stone
Excuse me, pal, you get someone to see it, so we've got a bloody
will be
nose.
satisfied
Get someone on for it,
if
please. Where
his
you at?
side can go in level pegging with the Catalan Dragons.
I think he'd be very satisfied. As I said, the game in the last quarter will open up a lot because of the minutes that the middlemen will have to play, the covering for the edge players who will be in and amongst those middle players. He's been a really good addition to the Giants, Alex Mellor. He's quick enough to play in the backs. He's a big guy as well. He's 6'3", 6'4", good frame on him, good
Aaron,
balance.
Stay behind the kicker.
Look forward to watching him for a long time to come.
Stay behind, Aaron.
Ridyard to bring the scores level,
Yep.
which he does. First points for his new club, or his adopted club, Martin Ridyard. And Catalan Dragons 6, Huddersfield Giants 6 is the scoreline.
The Giants were a little happier at half-time. They've had a little less possession than their opponents, but they finished this second half looking like they're getting control of the game.
Catalan in no rush to resume the game, and the hooter sounding, and that was the last kick of this first half, which opened brightly for the Catalan Dragons with that Richie Myler birthday try after just 4 minutes, and you thought they could be in the mood for it today, but not so. And Huddersfield have gone toe-to-toe with them. They've got the try through Gaskell, and the sides at half-time are level pegging.
Brown misses him. Gelling over the top.
Okay, Tim, stick to the script. Just say Kit Kat now with extra milk and cocoa.
Sure.
Go.
Kit Kat now has extra silky milk
Tim.
and delicious cocoa,
Tim.
divine milk
Tim.
and seductive.
What happened to sticking to the script?
Extra milk and cocoa. That's what happened.
Let's have a break.
Kit Kat, now with extra milk and cocoa for a better break.
A few days ago, Nick had back pain. He struggled to bend, jump or crawl. Wow, what happened?
Voltarol provides up to 3 times more effective pain relief than non-medicated gel. The triple effect of Voltarol relieves pain at source, reduces inflammation, helps speed up recovery. Voltarol, the joy of movement. Visit our Facebook page for a chance to win a year's sports club membership. And whatever you want to get back into, get back on track with us.
Crikey, now that is out of this world. No, not you, mate. This ultra comfortable sofa with chaise comes in 4 colours and is just $1499 in the Harvey's sale. Cosmic! This luxurious leather sofa with puckered button detailing is only $579 at Harvey's. But hurry, Harvey's early bird offers won't be around forever. In fact, they'll only be around till Tuesday. Harvey's, incredible furniture at incredible prices. Guaranteed.
I know I want it. But do I deserve it?
Yeah.
The Ford Focus ST line. The drive you probably, almost definitely deserve.
Who wants to be just a spectator? Our players don't celebrate sports stars. They celebrate beating them. For
to those that relish competition. .888 Sport, take 'em on.
This is Jenny from Jump Games. They're growing fast and she wants business cards that everyone can be proud of. So she's come to Moo. At Moo, we take the things that make you and your business so great and turn them into the perfect paper version of you. And Louisa, Kevin, Mark, and of course Jenny. Okay then. Visit moo.com and get a free sample pack.
Thing as rigorous as money. What is money? He's dead.
Somebody did it to us.
Money, money, money. What is money? Come on!
How blind do you have to be to not see what is right in front of you?
Just give me money.
This is a last. It's important to get that kick away.
Johnson!
It is the final day of the Premier League, and now on Sky Sports 1 we have Liverpool Middlesbrough. It's a 2 p.m. start for that one. 2:45 p.m. on Sky Sports 2 for Watford against Man City. City needing a point against Watford. Liverpool needing a win against Middlesbrough to guarantee Champions League next season at Anfield and the Etihad. Right, here on day 2 of the Dacia Magic Weekend, it is 6 points apiece at half-time. Catalan Dragons first on the scoreboard through Richie Myler try. Huddersfield replied through Lee Gaskell, and a late Martin Ridyard penalty in his first appearance for Huddersfield has tied the game up. Well, neither side in great form going into this match. The Catalan Dragons have lost their last 3 Super League matches and of course dumped out spectacularly of the Challenge Cup by Hull FC in the 6th round. But a fairly decent first half performance from Lauren Fraser as his side tried to work their way back towards a Super League win. And a Super League win is something the Huddersfield Giants just can't seem to buy at the moment. Just one in their last 10 Super League matches. But still a smile on the face of Rick Stone in the build-up to this match. Still confidence amongst his side. And with the returning Jermaine McGilvery and Leroy Cudjoe just behind Rick Stone there. Plenty of strike, plenty of experience and tries comes back into this side. But John Wells, it was the Catalan Dragons who scored first through Richie Myler in a try, I suppose, that best encapsulated all that's good about Richie Myler, the attacking halfback.
Yeah, and all that's good about the Catalan Dragons, because we saw precious little of that as the first half went on. So we'll take you to the Richie Myler try then to start the half. And there's 2 aspects I like about this. There's the setup, and then there's what they do when they get into the backfield. So I'll take you to the point of the play the ball, just show you this area here. This is what I'm interested in. So as Richie Myler spearheading that, and he's got all sorts of options. He's got Greg Bird as an inside option. He's got Busquets as a frontline runner, and he's got Luke Walsh as an option out the back. Now the effect that has on this defensive line, there is a slip in here, but just ignore that for a second. What it does is it stops the line speed because there's so many different options. There's only so far these guys can come. So again, we'll take you on to the point of the pass. So already there, yes, there's a slip on the inside, but this reaction here is what they're looking for. It's guys on heels trying to anticipate what's coming. The size of Busquets always means that he's going to get an arm free. I cannot think that this is anything other than pre-planned, and it's well executed.
Well, Myler certainly thinks he's going to backs up brilliantly.
And when they're in the backfield, now this is a time when probably a less experienced halfback would maybe panic. They'd be immediately looking. The space sometimes scares people. So when you get into that sort of area, I think that's cool. He's chosen the right pass, again the right option, and again the right option to sell the dummy. Now that's something that's been a rare commodity for the Dragons as this game goes on, making the right decision.
6-0 to the Catalan Dragons after 4 minutes. Just 8 minutes later, then the Huddersfield Giants hit back. Lee Gaskell, the returning Lee Gaskell, partnering Martin Ridyard in the halves, went over in a try you feel the Catalan could quite easily have solved?
Yeah, problem starts in this tackle. Again, it's Busquets, gets himself, he finds it very difficult to extricate himself from the tackle. So the person who's actually going to end up getting done is Richie Myler, who we saw in attack a couple of minutes ago. His teammate there is coming back, cumbersome, all over the other top of a defender. And I'll take it to the point again of the play the ball, because I was trying to find a reason for Richie Myler diving in here. Well, I'll stop it there. That's the reason, because the man on the inside of him, he's had to be left behind. Myler's had to jump up out the line. he's actually overcompensated here because Thornley has, or should have, Cruz-Leeming covered. Busquets does have an eye for Cruz-Leeming, but ultimately that's his man, which would free up Richie Myler to go and sort out one of these out the back. Now, if you take all that away and you think, well, yes, Busquets has gone, so I'll overcompensate one on the inside. I think he's panicked a little bit and he dived too soon because Hinchcliffe's his man. He's dived too soon. He's made a mistake. It's well done, well held up by Cruz-Leeming, and it's 6-4 conversion missed.
Yes, Martin Ridyard unsuccessful with the conversion. He was, however, successful with a late penalty, which has tied it up at 6 points apiece, which would give Huddersfield Giants fans and Catalan Dragons fans plenty of hope. But you think there is a significant win here for the Catalan Dragons, a big win on the scoreboard, if what?
If they start making the right decisions. They have made pretty much, it must be so exasperating being in that Catalan dressing room, they have made pretty much every wrong decision that they could have made. A perfect example would be Luke Walsh. Goes for the breaks, a simple pass back on the inside and a try. Everybody's scratching their heads as to why not. This, possibly the best situation they've had. A full set of 6 following a 40-20 on the opposition 10-metre line. Now you must have a set play here, where to get to, what area of the field, what setup, what part of the field to try and exploit. First play, I'll give you that one, that's Tony Gigo trying to find a little bit of space. Second play, with plenty of, it has to be said, options out the back. They've gone for the front runner. I'll give you that one as well. Third play, this is where it starts to unfold for me. Again, plenty of options out the back. They must be feeling that there's a weakness there in that front line, but they're not doing enough to exploit it. So the 3 plays in, it's been fairly well managed.
Is this the problem with the halves not dominating in calls?
Well, this I think if you get, as you would know when you played, you got into a certain area of the field that from a penalty, you have an entire set up, areas of the field to go, areas of the defence to exploit, and then you go into the Catalan Dragons plan B mode, which is throw the ball around, try and find somebody, try and pick out an individual who's going to do something. It's not good enough, and it's the reason why they are there in the table, because they have got some really, really talented players in this 17, in that Catalan Dragons squad. They're not making the most of it. Look at the end of the set. One of many ends to sets that are below par. They've got a 20, 25-point margin over Huddersfield if they want it. I don't think Huddersfield are at the races. Problem is, will Catalan be?
So position and possession for the Catalan Dragons, but execution letting them down at the moment. That's the thoughts of John Wells. We'll see how this second 40 minutes unfolds. But at the moment, they're locked up at 6 points apiece. And the Huddersfield Giants will consider themselves a huge chance of registering 2 Betfred Super League points. Second half coming up for you after this break.
Real people, real hair loss, real stories.
I was really concerned about losing my hair because I'm an actor. How am I going to cope?
The best thing about having a full head of hair again would just have to be not worrying about the back of my head.
I'm proud to say that, yeah, I've used Advanced Hair Studio and it's worked for me.
Like these guys. It's the best thing I've done.
Call Advanced Hair Studio now on 0845 600 8899.
I know I want it. But do I deserve it?
Yeah. The Ford Focus ST line. The drive you probably, almost definitely deserve.
A few days ago, Nick had back pain. He struggled to bend, jump, or crawl. Wow, Wow, what happened?
Voltarol provides up to 3 times more effective pain relief than non-medicated gel. The triple effect of Voltarol relieves pain at source, reduces inflammation, helps speed up recovery. Voltarol, the joy of movement. Visit our Facebook page for a chance to win a year's sports club membership. And whatever you want to get back into, get back on track with us.
White. White.
Beer.
White.
Beer.
White. White.
Beer.
White.
Beer.
White.
Beer.
White.
Beer.
This is Jenny from Jump Games. They're growing fast, and she wants business cards that everyone can be proud of. So she's come to Moo. At Moo, we take the things that make you and your business so great and turn them into the perfect paper version of you. And Louisa, Kevin, Mark, and of course Jenny. Okay then. Visit moo.com and get a free sample pack.
The best fight in the 147-pound division.
Brooke Spence live from Bramall Lane on Sky Sports box office. To order, see channel 491 or go to skysports.com/Brooke.
Second, third effort, fourth effort.
That's desire. That run is all about desire.
A reminder what we've got coming up for you here on Sky Sports, where we will see 3 of Super League's top 4 sides in action. Third place Salford host Lee Centurions, who are making their magic debut, yet to win away from home in Super League. Can they do that against the high-flying Red Devils? That's coming up here on Sky Sports Mix. And then we'll skip over to Sky Sports 2 to see the top of the table Castleford Tigers taking on a resurgent Leeds Rhinos side. Remembering the Tigers beat the Rhinos earlier this year, 66 points to 10, but it is a different Leeds side now. On at the half-time point here in the first game of day 2 of the Dash Magic Weekend. It's 6 points apiece at half-time. Will the extra week's rest in the build-up to this game play in favour of the Huddersfield Giants as the second half wears on? We can find out now in the company of our commentary team, Barry McDermott, Phil Clark, but first, Bill Arthur.
Second half about to get underway, and Krishnan Inu will restart things. Mum, Dad written on that wrist strapping on his right forearm. And the first touch goes to the Huddersfield Giants, who drew level with that last kick of the first half. 6 points apiece then. It's all to play for here. And the feeling is that the Huddersfield Giants will have more in the tank as this game wears on.
Well, John Wells made it quite clear at half-time that Lauren Fisher will be absolutely furious, and I suppose he'd had every right to be, because his team have the potential to play far better than what we saw in that first 40 minutes. They've underperformed, they've got 40 minutes to put it right and find a win.
Oh, and the first knock-on of the second half as the ball goes to ground. Oliver Roberts couldn't take the pass, but he classically got man and ball at the same time, and Catalan get it back.
It was under pressure, it was great line speed, as you see. The moment the ball is passed, the defenders trying to snuff out the threat in the Dragon shirts.
Well, Catalan scored after 4 minutes, and the ball's knocked on, batted down, and whose head and feed is it? It's Catalan's head and feed, says referee Chris Campbell.
Yeah, it's ruled that it's a legitimate ball steal, one-on-one, but when he's pulled it out, he's knocked the ball forward. That's it there. So he's entitled to steal the ball because he's the only one in the tackle, but in doing so, he's actually knocked the ball on.
Well, we saw something similar in the first half when Vincent Dupont couldn't hold on to the ball with McGilvey around him. I think the Dragons players need to be more conscious and more protective of the ball.
Well, here they go again then. They get head and feed at the scrum. They get a set of 6 well inside Huddersfield Giants territory. As I said, they scored after 4 minutes in the first half. Are they going to start strongly in the second half? Huddersfield back on their own try line. Here is Luke Walsh. Walsh, ball back on the inside.
Well, an intricate play, that almost too intricate, didn't it? I think they'd beaten and unlocked the defence. Couldn't find the way over the try line. Committed efforts here from Huddersfield.
Hugo Perez is on. He's off the bench. The 22-year-old. Walsh, the pass, ooh, well taken by Bousquet because it was behind him. No end to this big man's skills.
Go 5.
Myler puts a little grubber kick in. It's too strong, and Gaskell sees that one bounce over the dead ball line.
Well, Huddersfield are struggling at the moment. They're down to 12 men with Adam O'Brien receiving treatment. He seems to have a heavy knock on his head.
Time off.
Referee just wants to control this start again there.
He stopped it because he believes there's a head injury to a player, so he wants that sorting out before he moves on with the game.
Yeah.
And it looks as though Adam O'Brien will leave the field here now to have an assessment of that injury. People talk a lot about concussion, and maybe it's more to do with like a traumatic brain injury is probably a better word to describe it.
Fans pouring into the stadium now. It's filling up, and they've travelled all manners of ways to get here, including that man, Andy Kelly, the Giants' head of youth, who cycled here in the company of Earl Crabtree, Steve Hardesty and James Seabright, raising funds for the Headway charity in memory of the former Giants under-19s player Ronan Costello. They cycled 120 miles from Huddersfield to Newcastle, and Andy Kelly was walking in a very strange way when I saw him yesterday, having arrived here. He's moving a bit more freely today. Magnificent effort, though. Target is £2,000. They've reached 1,200. If you go to the Giants website, there's information of how to support this charitable effort, and all in the memory of the Giants Academy player who died last June. It was Ronan Costello, tragically. And Andy Kelly and his club colleagues doing a fantastic job, and high shot penalty to the Huddersfield Giants.
Well, from being in a position to attack and score first in the second half, they're now under pressure in defending, and Huddersfield, who Barry thought had no chance, could actually take the lead in this game.
Here's Sam Rapira then on the 10-metre line, plays that ball, and dodging and weaving from Cruz Leeming, now Cudjoe. Cudjoe attracts a group of Catalan players, and the referee, I think, has seen a knock on, and it's Catalan head and feed.
Yeah, Leroy Cudjoe lost the ball, according to the officials, into the Catalan player. Doesn't have to hit the ground. He must have gone into Thornley. There it is. I think he's lost it there.
They look to have started the second half very aggressively, the Catalan Dragons. And if they can control that, if they can make better decisions, like the lad said at half-time, they've certainly got the class to take this game.
Penalty awarded to the Catalan Dragons. Chance to get half-time news from Angela.
Yes, Bill, two coaches saying roughly the same thing. Lauren Fraser-New for the Catalan Dragons says it's all about completion for them. They got in the 60s, but they need to be in the high 80s, 90s to be able to compete better. And as Phil Clark said, he hit the nail on the head, really. They're giving away too much ball. They've got to respect possession. Rick Stone said too many errors, too many penalties. Whoever gets the upper hand in these areas will stand a better chance of winning this tussle.
The penalty goes to the Catalan Dragons, and their chance to relieve the pressure. No side has really applied consistent pressure in this game. They've squandered so many opportunities. Walsh, who opened up the Giants' defence at one point in that first half, but couldn't find a supporting player. Just ambling across the field, really, and then the pass is trapped by Vincent Dupont. Chips ahead, and Jake Mamo comes across to field the ball. A try scorer in each of the last 4 games, Jake Mamo, including that career first hat-trick against the Castleford Tigers 2 weeks ago.
Sometimes the style of play, as Jake Manuel cleaned up that ball from the Dragons, almost makes you think it's just a friendly match, and nobody's really keeping a record of the score or how many tries, whether we take the kicks at goal. They just play with such freedom that at times maybe there isn't the structure they need, and today when things aren't going the way, passes are not sticking, need to find a way of changing it. Is that a knock-on? That's probably the best catch of the day from Oliver Roberts.
It was a slip fielder's catch from Oliver Roberts, and is that a 40-20 effort? It's a good kick nonetheless into open space.
It's a terrific kick, Bill, and I'm going to ask for a steward's inquiry here, Phil, because I said that Huddersfield of the two sides would be in a better position if they carried on doing what they were doing. The kick probably typifies that for me.
I apologise, it was John Wells I'm confusing you with some of the things he said before the match.
Not let myself go that much, have I?
Well, the ball is stolen, but the referee will bring him back.
Well, it's getting farcical, isn't it? The control of the ball here. The referee said there's two people in the tackle who've stolen it, and Alex Mellor looks bemused.
Well, he called the tackle complete. I think that was the problem. He called him out of the tackle, and then he stole it after that. So the penalty was given for that. I think he was in a mind to give him the ball back, but then realised that he couldn't do that.
So the penalty allows Catalan to move into Huddersfield territory. It's back-to-back penalties, although there's a bit of a gap between the two penalties awarded to Catalan, but nevertheless they've made progress on the back of two penalties conceded by the Huddersfield Giants. Here's Walsh, Busquets, Inu now.
Tackle by Aaron Murphy. It isn't easy to stop Kristen Inu. He's done it on a couple of occasions. We're going back now to the left-hand side of the field.
Paul Ayton, a very physical player, is Krishnan Inu. Alrix da Costa, here's Casti. Roberts gets a hold of him, Casti gets the pass away, but it's good scrambling defence from the Giants, and good scrambling defence in particular from Irish international Oliver Roberts. Gigo, he's drifting across the face. Here's Thornley now. Thornley! And that's first points of the second half for the Catalan Dragons, and the first opportunity really. The pass is stuck, and Ian Thornley, tiptoeing almost down that sideline, gets fourth try of the season.
Well, he'd have to be a strong contender for man of the match so far, because he was involved heavily in the first try with a nice catch and pass. He scored the second one. Here's the penalty, and Alex Mellor, well, he drags the ball away from Da Costa. The referee had already said that tackle had been completed, and therefore we find themselves here. It was a mazy set of six, and at the end of it, Tungi Yijo ran across the field, and disappointingly there for Leroy Cujo, who I think has the ability to be an international class centre, allows Ian Thornley to just run round him, score in the corner, and having worked hard for 8 minutes, they've let the Dragons score a soft one. Drifts across the field. It's an under-7s try, this, isn't it? And then the guy just puts the ball down in the corner.
He made his 100th career appearance last week, did Ian Thornley, in the game at Hull in the Cup, where they were hammered. But they've got their noses in front on this game. Luke Robinson out there on the field, trying to gee up these Giants players who trail now by 10 points to 6. Kick to come from Luke Walsh, way out wide. Thornley ever present for the last 13 games after missing the round 1 game while his move from Hull Kingston Rovers was resolved. But since then he's been a constant in this Catalan Dragons side, and brings lots of experience that he's gained through the 7 clubs he's played for in his nomadic career. Walsh then from out wide to extend Catalan's lead. A rare miss from Luke Walsh, wasn't far off.
Well, Bill, you said when the passes stick, the Catalan Dragons can score tries. I think that's what they're relying on, those passes, flicks, chips, anything that they can do to cause problems. The team with the better methodology is Huddersfield Giants. I don't think they've got the same sprinkle of stardust. If players like Jake Manuel can get a little bit more involved with a bit of field position, they're still not out of this game. I don't think either side is in a position to win it, and I think they're quite capable, either side, of handing it to their opposition.
But your view is that that was a soft try to concede.
It's terrible.
Yeah. Somebody should have tackled him. Anybody.
Well, Catalan bring the ball back from the restart with Tony Gigot. And is that going to maybe lift their spirits? Very tentative performance as Fouad Yaha plays the ball and gets to his feet, grimacing. Did have a bit of a knee injury earlier on in the campaign, the wingman. Oof, that looked marginal to Paul Ayton. Walsh. Here's Sam Mower on the halfway line. Still legs driving, trying to make a bit more progress. Over the halfway line, that's the 5th tackle, and it's Gigot who booms that ball into the air, and it's not a bad kick. Darnell McIntosh has knocked it on, and it was a difficult kick. It was drifting away from the young winger, and it had loads of height on it.
I've seen them go either way. It was a wicked kick. Just drifts away from the body of Darnell McIntosh. Whether it goes slightly forward or slightly back, the decision has gone against him, and his team need to be better while defending their own try line, as we see a little bit of treatment from Paul Ayton, who puts a lot of work in defence. Him and DaCosta now both on the field at the same time. Fierce competitor.
Well, they're looking to put back-to-back tries. There's some daylight between them and their opponents. They want to do well there now with that strap in to run freely.
He looks okay though.
Stay on side.
Hasn't had a lot of luck with injuries, Paul Ayton, in his recent career. Got injured within seconds, of course, of his Catalan debut. Minutes, I should say. But from that knock-on, it's an opportunity for the Catalan Dragons once more, and Greg Bird using his perhaps sometimes under-recognised strength and flings himself to the ground. Walsh, Gigot, he's strong as well, bounces off the first challenges, comes back across the field as the fullback, then straightens up, looking for a gap in the Giants' cover. Bang in front of those posts. DaCosta, Sam Mower, the big guys hammering at the Giants' defence. Alrix DaCosta once more. That was forward, ricocheted off, and a scrappy end again to that Catalan attack.
And a facial injury, perhaps again here for Greg Bird. Can we see blood on his right hand? Then some contact here. Wasn't expecting the pass. He's down the field. Is it his arm maybe that's got the cut on it?
Oliver Roberts seems to catch him with his elbow.
And that's exactly where he got the bang.
I don't think that was on purpose. I don't think there was any intent in that. He just clashes. I'm trying to find a glimpse of positivity here. It's at the top of his eye. It's nowhere near that jaw.
Well, no, it was eye sockets, high on the cheekbone where he got the bang against Leeds.
It's all right. I'm all right, thank you.
Yeah.
33 years of age, Greg Bird, and so experienced. 18 Origin appearances for New South Wales.
Well, they need him to stay out on the field here. We've got,
but it's a head knock. He's got to go off, hasn't he? It's a head knock.
It's a forward pass, isn't it?
All right.
He only has to have or go through the head assessment if the medical team believe that there's an issue. They obviously think the issue is the blood on the eye, so they get that fixed up.
It's a superficial one, isn't it? It's the skin. It's the skin that's...
I've seen them go off for less.
The Bird's patched up. The stadium still filling up for today's Magic Weekend action. Lee against Salford coming up, and of course the weekend rounding off with the Castleford Tigers against Leeds, and good attendance yesterday. Good crowd here today. Spotted Newcastle United legend Peter Beardsley, big rugby league fan. He'll be in a cock-a-hoop yesterday after St Helens win. Big Saints fan from his days playing for Liverpool, but now back in his native northeast, and still a hero for Newcastle United fans, but a massive rugby league follower.
Well, he wants to be the hero for Huddersfield. Ike Hefo just come back onto the field here now, and Hinchcliffe It's certainly look a better side when those two are out around the action with the hands on the ball.
Catalans lead just 4 points as Ridyard under pressure puts the kick in, and it bounces up nicely for Fouad Yaha, this chunky young winger, former SC Avignon player. Here is Tony Gigot now.
That was a good defensive effort. They're in negative meters, the Catalan Dragons, because the pass was a long one. They were able to get up quick and shut it down.
Gigot, ex-Toulouse, so's that man Vincent Duport. Toulouse in action at the Summer Bash next weekend. We'll be there for the Championships big weekend. And Toulouse will be one of the sides you'll be able to see on Sky Sports. Day 1, 2:30, Sky Sports 3. There you go for the Summer Bash. And then we're back for Day 2 in Blackpool from 12:30 on Sky Sports 3. Big weekend. We've got Super League Thursday, Friday, Summer Bash, Super League Monday, Catalan Dragons in action Monday evening. No shortage of rugby league action to come on Sky Sports next weekend.
Well, Huddersfield are going to get some more action, and some action hopefully to get themselves perhaps level or even ahead on the scoreboard here. They've spent the last 10 minutes or so felt inside their own half. Not had a lot of attacking opportunity here, but it's a wrestle-free. Sam Moore is alleged to have had his hands on the ball with Jermaine McGilvray. And another penalty awarded when Huddersfield were wrestling around in the middle of the field.
2 balls on the pitch at the moment, so referee Campbell just asking Jermaine McGilvray to deal with the stray one, and the penalty presents Huddersfield with an opportunity now to test the Catalan Dragons' defence. Hinchcliffe, quick hands, oh, great hands from Roberts. Wow, how did he keep a hold of that? Here is Ridyard.
He's ever so well, the ball's behind him. Well done, Oliver Roberts.
Gaskell, the ball finds his teammate, Duport slips, and somehow Huddersfield keep possession. Gaskell once more, scorer of the Giants' try in the first half. Here is Ridyard now. Short pass to Oliver Roberts, but Roberts immediately wrapped up by the Catalan Dragons cover. Murphy, Ridyard will kick cross field. Cudjoe will challenge for this, but it's claimed and then ricochets off the Huddersfield man, and it'll be a tap restart on the 20 for the Catalan Dragons.
Well, the best kick from Ridyard so far. He puts it where the centre is rather than the winger. You see Duport's charging in, he knows it's his responsibility. The relief that Cudjoe wasn't able to convert that into a try.
Dear me, that was nearly a horrible mix-up from the Catalan Dragons. I'm not sure if anybody was anticipating that, but fortunately for them, Krishnan Inu was alert to that lofted pass. It's a strange game, this is. The referee says he's held, go back.
Hold with me. When you're ready, Greg, 2, go.
On the halfway line, here's Sam Moore.
3.
He's worked hard for the Catalan Dragons as the former Hull prop. Jordan Desaria out there.
4. Hold. Go, 4.
Making his first appearance of the season, Jordan Desaria. Oh, nearly.
In Super League, of course.
Hold, go.
Kick cross field. It's a difficult one, well claimed.
Well, they like that play, don't they, where the kick's sent from one side of the field to the other, hoping that Myler can find himself underneath it, as it's usually targeted around the goalposts. Solid hit there from Da Costa. McIntosh bounces off it, and then Bird brings him to the ground. Very bunched in a group here now.
Is this game going to open up in the final quarter? Maybe. With Catalan perhaps running out of gas. It's a good kick from Gaskell.
Will it hold up? No, it's going to just roll off the back. 7 tackles to the Dragons. Gaskell took control.
Not many players can kick the ball that far.
No, I was going to say it's good 70 metres.
Tap on the 20.
Let's go, Luke.
First game of day 2 at the Dacia Magic Weekend coming up. And you'll find this on Sky Sports Mix. Lee Centurions against the Salford Red Devils. One of the form sides, maybe the form side in the competition at the moment. And the weekend rounds off with the Castleford Tigers against the Leeds Rhinos. 5:15. Sky Sports 2 for that one. Leeds out to avenge the hammering they suffered at Castleford earlier in the season. Very different Leeds side now. Here's Busquet now.
And Huddersfield are still in this contest primarily because of Aaron Murphy's efforts in defence. Big men have run at him, but he's repeatedly put them to the ground. He's been really strong on this side of the field now.
Samoa plays the ball, 20 metres out. Myler. So nearly through for a second. Walsh kicks that cross field. Inu claims it, bats it back down, and it's seized by the Giants. Busquet very nearly got to it. It was Ridyard who came up with it.
Yeah, they're surviving at the moment, aren't they? They're hoping to bring some fresh people on here. And I've not seen many penalties for a while. They managed to stop that, haven't they? The Dragons were conceding a few, and it was allowing Huddersfield to get into an attacking position. But they're desperate for some quick play the balls. Adam O'Brien and co. If they can speed the game up, Jake Mamo and his teammates can find a way forward. At the moment, they are struggling to gain ground as Gaskell skirts across the pitch, forward pass.
Cudjoe, McGilvray, infield, the referee says play on, and McGilvray comes across the field. Gigo gets a hold of him. Mamo is there to support. He puts a kick in, it's too strong. Murphy was trying desperately to catch up, and it's head and feed to the Catalan Dragons.
Well, both sides throwing the ball about. Previous set of 6, the Dragons did the same. Passes and offloads. Jermaine McGilvray is in open space, cuts back inside. The ball is tipped out of his hands by Ian Thornley, picks it back up, finds his fullback. It was an ambitious kick at best. And Aaron Murphy wasn't quick enough to get there. He needs to get involved a little bit more, or his team need to find a way to get the ball in his hands. Such a devastating runner.
Well, the referee ruled that ball was pulled out backwards by Catalan. I think Jake Mamo was thinking that was a free play. Reason why he kicked it into touch. So I think there's a bit of a discussion going on in the field as to whether that should have been a free play. Looking at the replay, he's probably knocked on by Jermaine McGilvray. He comes off his arm forward last, so Catalan scrum's probably the right result, probably in the wrong position.
It's out.
Catalan coming here with a dodgy run behind them. They've lost their last 3 matches. They had a good Easter. Their good Easter began with a fine win at Huddersfield, and it looked at that stage when they picked up points over the Easter campaign that they had got their season on track, but they've fallen off again. They've lost the last 3. They've dropped out of the top 8 after yesterday's result for Warrington, and it's a distinct possibility that they could find themselves involved in the middle 8s.
Well,
qualifying 8s.
That's very, very, very likely the way we're watching them play here for the last hour. Greg Bird attempts to get the ball free, bounces hard off the chest of Tony Guijo, and I'm not sure how much energy and life left in this Huddersfield side. They look a little drained, but they should really here now seize on this opportunity, because the Dragons have been anything but ruthless. Keeping Huddersfield and Rick Stone's team alive.
Come on, Huddersfield, let's pack it down, come on.
So that's head and feet to the Huddersfield Giants on the halfway line.
Head in, Greg, head in.
Martin Ridyard feeding the scrum for Huddersfield, their lone recruit. While Danny Brough is serving his 2-game suspension.
What can they create though? I know they've got 2 half-backs who've only just met last week, in Gaskell and Ridyard. They've got 4 players here now. More than just a big forward carry there by Hickey Hifo. Need some invention here, some creativity to break down the defence.
Well, they've got the opportunity now. Ridyard. On to Oliver Roberts, shown up well for Huddersfield since he came off the bench for them. Here is Ridyard, checks, then goes wide. Gaskell and onto O'Brien. Mellor, I beg your pardon, it is Alex Mellor who's tackled. And so then they kick cross field, and Krishnan Inu, so good in the air. Newcastle United's goalkeeper would have been proud of that one.
What was impressive was that he backed off before the kick to allow himself that 5-metre run up and then leap high, took it very comfortable, doesn't he? You wouldn't expect him to put many down. He'd be the favourite to take those as Guijo tries a risky pass, but it comes off and Dupont bumps through the first tackle.
Now then, can they make something of this? 4 tackles gone, up to or just inside the Giants' half. Sam Moa, puff of the cheeks as he takes the ball into the Giants defenders, led by Adam O'Brien. Ikihivo there as well. 5th tackle. Myler hoists that one. Now then, McIntosh spilled the last one. This time he claims that and makes ground and avoids the first couple of tacklers. Does well there, the 19-year-old winger.
Well, Mamo's been relatively quiet. He's trying to inject himself around the ball more.
Jake Mamo's tackled on his own 40-metre line. Now McGilvray. A real battle of attrition this game. 2 sides who know the significance of it, given their current position in the table. Gahihifo is held, says the referee. Here's Ryan Hinchcliffe, but that's good work from Sam Moa. The ball's gone backwards. Little chip kick ahead from Ridyard, too strong. Better from Huddersfield.
It was a basic set. It was the back 3, the winger, the fullback, the 2 wingers, the fullback. A big charge from Ikihihifo, and there was a slight attempt to get the ball back on the inside, try and isolate and expose some of those plays that we talked about right at the beginning of the match that will just be blowing a little bit now.
I think the tension and the excitement will start to build here because we're going to get a dramatic finale to this match. It hasn't been the best in terms of tries and creative play, but we're going to get some real drama now as we get towards the last 15 minutes.
Greg Bird gamely carrying on out there, carrying a knock just above the eye, which needed some attention. Went into the game with that facial injury. Myler trying to weave his way through. 4 tackles gone. Here is Walsh. Busquet dumps the ball to Gigo. Gigo wrestling with Hinchcliffe, escapes his clutches, comes across the field looking for an opportunity and takes 3 Giant tacklers to bring him down. Determination from Tony Gigo. Walsh, chip kick. Bird will try and claim it and dot the ball down. Looked to be a knock on there, but what's Chris Campbell seen? He reckons it's a try. It's a try for Greg Bird, potentially, but video ref Ben Thaler is going to have to adjudicate on this.
I think he requested to look for obstruction and the grounding. So we're seeing this time, it looks like Myler's onside. We've got a nice line of the football penalty box there to help us. So all the chasers are onside. I think looks like a fair contest. We'll have to get a closer look on that grounding. So try to decide whether Richie Myler has had any effect in that. Doesn't look like his... well, it looks like he's contesting for the ball initially. It's all part of the initial challenge. He's going up. I think it's a clean catch by Greg Bird on that one, so I think we're okay to play on from there. You see, it's a clean catch. Is it a knock on? I think it might be a knock on there, looking at that.
Gaskell.
Yeah, it comes off Bird's hand into Gaskell's hand, so I think that's a knock on. So again, this one will be declined.
Well, this is with the second. That's the second time, isn't it? The video referee has disallowed a try here for the Catalan Dragons from a kick. One was Myler.
Interference on...
Well, he's ruled that Richie Myler has had an effect on that.
Well, he's contesting the ball though, wasn't he?
Well, he's contesting it, but he's obviously ruled that he's touched the arm first, so there is contact first, which, you know, I suppose is a fair decision, really. We had a similar one in the St Helens game yesterday, where the video referee applied common sense.
Well, survival for Huddersfield, they needed that, and they're back up to the halfway.
Is that allowed, Stuart?
Well, common sense.
Yeah.
Well, I think so, yeah.
So Huddersfield escape. And what are the chances of them going up the other end of the field and posting points now after surviving that scare? Here's Roberts, but loses his footing, and Sam Moa ensures that he doesn't get back up in a hurry. Now, a good run from O'Brien, weaving his way towards those Catalan posts. That's the 5th tackle. What's the Giants kick going to be like? Or will they run it? It's a little grubber kick from Jake Mamo, and the ball's just too long. And I think it's going to be a goal line dropout, is it?
Wasn't it a good kick from Jake Mamo? A shift in play from the Huddersfield Giants. Nice little probe from the substitute, Adam O'Brien.
Just checking, I thought it had gone over the dead ball line. It comes off Thornley, but I don't think he'd played at it, had he?
No, I don't think he played at it. It's all about who touches this ball and when. On-field officials think, well, he's touched it. He's touched it before it's hit the ground, so I think Dupont will have been deemed to have taken that ball dead. That's the law that changed this year. It's got to touch something outside, and I think he's touched it before it's hit the ground, so that'll be a goal line dropout.
Good kick.
It took no chance.
Good pressure builder.
Could understand Dupont didn't want to take the risk here of McGilvery's arm coming round and finding a magical way of scoring. He's played the safety option, and it should give Huddersfield here now another 6 players. They're sitting nervously. His team have probably been the better side, but trying a goal and they would trail.
Still time for the Giants to overhaul the Dragons as Shannon Wakeman fields that goal line dropout and brings it back for this Huddersfield Giants side. Ridyard, here is Sam Rapira, always brings energy from the bench. Former New Zealand warrior Adam O'Brien. Shannon Wakeman now, former Illawarra cutter Wakeman.
Watch out for Ridyard now, he needs to get involved, get his hands on the ball.
Oh, Hinchcliffe, it very nearly opened up for him there. He lost his footing, he's lost the ball.
Well, he's playing like Cooper Cronk now, isn't he? He used to be at the Melbourne Storm, where he was a hard-working hooker back rower. Now
should have gone to Ridyard. They were all set on the right, on the long side. He came out to the short side, loses the ball. All those players, all those Catalan defenders on their right edge means there will be less defenders on the left edge, defending larger space.
It's like man on man, wasn't it, on the other side, Barry?
So Catalan survive again. Well, Huddersfield survive at one end. Catalan breathe a sigh of relief in their defensive zone. Now then, can they work the ball upfield? Can they open up the Giants' defence?
Interesting. They've sent Paul Ayton back on. He's limped his way back onto the field. They must think he's going to contribute in some way.
They've taken the strapping off now. It might have been that was holding him back.
Catalan.
They need all hands on deck now, the Dragons, don't they? This game is there for the taking.
And in their pomp, they would have put Huddersfield to the sword. The chances they've had here, the territory they've had, they would have converted that into points. But this anxiety about this Catalan side, obviously players missing. And Walsh hoists that kick. Jermaine McGilvray will be solid underneath this. Almost threat to get away from him, and McGilvray trying to go on the outside. Then goes to ground.
It's a good play. He's probably one of the best. And yet, as Barry's pointed out, he's just not seen enough of the ball, other than in situations like that where he's got 13 men to try and beat. Great catch, good recovery, back up onto his feet. Find a way of getting him involved. And
I've already said that although Vincent Duport's a great player and normally plays in the centre, played a lot of his rugby league this season on the wing. I think that Jermaine McGilvray is stronger than him and is faster than him. So get Jermaine McGilvray a one-on-one with Dupont.
Here's Seb Ikehifo. Gets the pass away. Oh, it's a slightly fortuitous situation that ends up with Cudjoe and McGilvray. And McGilvray puts boot to Paul, and that's about summing up the game.
How was that not forward?
Stuart, how was that not forward?
Well, I agree with you. I don't know. It's that pass there, it's well, the touch is right in line with it, and sometimes that's the issue, that they're running with the ball, and so the ball always stays at the same level to them. But that's clearly a forward pass.
Well, that's a player that hasn't played regularly. He's a little bit rusty. Leroy Cudjoe, 99 times out of 100, would get that right, would give his winger a fighting chance.
But it's Huddersfield to get head and feet at the scrum at the end of all that, when it should be Catalan who have possession after a forward pass. And there's every possibility that Huddersfield might capitalise on that stroke of good fortune. Here's Shannon Wakeman. Wakeman gets the pass away. It's a stray pass, and the ball bobbles in front of Ridyard and is gathered. And Catalan will counter.
Well, Perez picks up and gets his side out to that in-goal area. They're surviving dangerously in only their own line.
I don't think that offload needed to be risked. He's done ever so well. Although the player's there, is in space, it was just a poor execution.
Oh, so was that. Dear me, what is going on?
What's going on is Aaron Murphy's almost got a man-of-the-match performance here with some of his defence. Christian Inu is a big, powerful player, but if you put him under pressure, he'll throw the pass, he'll take a risky play, and he's done it there once too often. Holds his hands up and apologises, but Murphy does really well to hit him hard, drive him backwards. He won't just take the tackle, looks to find his teammate who rolls over the sideline. And Huddersfield, if they can get excited, will do here now with 6 players, less than 10 to go. They need a try and a goal, and this could be a historic victory for them. Winning with depleted troops, down on luck at present. Shift it wide with Ridyard.
Ridyard to Gaskell, to Cudjoe, had to just take that behind him.
Moving out. Hold. Go one.
McGilvray, Oliver Roberts. Roberts tackled about 5 metres out. Booming pass for Ridyard, and Gaskell sensing an opening there. The door slammed in his face. It was good tackle from Walsh round his ankles. Sam Rapira now battering away. Rapira is over.
He's got it, you know. He's got it.
He has. Kick to come. The chairman's on his feet. Huddersfield are level. Rick Stone, coolest man in the ground. And Sam Rapira gets his first try of the season. His last try was on this ground against Saints last year when the Giants beat them 48-20. He's given his team now the chance to overhaul the Catalan Dragons.
Well, a perfect example of where they don't have the patience necessary at times. Okay, he loses ground in the tackle, but he could have taken it. He's lost possession, and then Sam Rapira's come up with the most devastating run we've seen this afternoon. A determination to hit hard and hit through the line. He carries Paul Layton over it, puts the ball down, and with a kick to come, the chairman knows his team ahead. Less than 10 to go.
Kick to come, and surely a formality for Martin Ridyard to put the Giants ahead. And Catalan crestfallen. And Rick Stone, well, it looks as though his side could snatch the win here. Time to go.
All afternoon we've talked about the attritional nature of this game. Both handing opportunities to their opponents, but at the end of the day, rugby league is about running hard, having determination, and Sam Rapira gets over the try line. And Huddersfield Giants in a real position now.
as Ian Proctor, our historian, archivist, who gets through a mountain of work at Magic Weekend, observes Sam Rapira only scores at St James's Park. He scored last year, he scored now, and here goes Aaron Murphy as the restart comes up for the Giants. Gigo battling for the ball but can't steal it off Murphy, and now are the breaks off the Giants. Cudjoe, ball in one hand, was trying maybe to find McGilvray. McGilvray picks up, referee blows for a penalty before McGilvray can capitalise.
We might have just have helped the Dragons there with that penalty. McGilvray was picking up, running from dummy half, and he would have taken some stopping there with 10 metres to go. He needed an army of men, as you will hear now. There'll be some determination. Look at the leg drive. 3, 4 men needed to stop him.
Hold your line. Hold.
Huddersfield looking for a try that will maybe see off the Catalan Dragons' challenge here. The Dragons, who led after just 4 minutes through Richie Myler's try, and who looked in the mood for one of their flowing performances, but have been stuttering and fumbling all afternoon. They've conceded the lead now, and they could concede more here. They have done, and Adam O'Brien has come up with another try for the Giants. Back-to-back try for them. Catalan collapse, and Huddersfield now move towards a valuable victory for them, and Adam O'Brien with his first try of the season. A crucial one that will be, and Rick Stone still unmoved by what he's seeing here.
Well, that's the second try around the play of the ball. That's the second time. We talked right at the beginning of the match about the extra effort the big fellas would have to do. Richie Myler gives the penalty away. Leroy Cudjoe can't play the ball in time. And there are enough players to solve this situation. There are enough defenders around the play of the ball to step up, stand up and do their job. They fail in their assignment. Adam O'Brien just has to get hard and low and get the try for the Giants.
Adam O'Brien's first Magic appearance since Etihad in 2015, I think it was, or was it 14? For the Bradford Bulls, 2014.
And this is a massive kick now for Martin Ridyard. Significance of this won't be lost here on the Dragons, who are hoping, just praying that he misses.
Ridyard round the corner, through the uprights, and it could be a successful start to this potentially brief association with the Huddersfield Giants for Martin Ridyard. Laurent Fraisenou so frustrated again, surely, because this game has been there at times for Catalan to take charge of, and they've failed to do it. Inu. That's a good short restart. Goes the 10, and Catalan will get it back, but they can't keep a hold of it.
Who's it come off? The Dragons are pleading, saying no, it was a Huddersfield team who got the ball out.
It was a brilliant kick. Dragons were all expecting it. They knew what was happening. Cudjoe.
Kristen Inu can do the brilliant things like that kickoff, but he doesn't want to do the boring ones. And maybe that's a problem that the Dragons need to focus on in the remaining 9 games now before we get to the next stage of this Super League competition.
All right, Ben, overturn it. Scrum down. Huddersfield ball.
And its decision has been changed, Stuart.
Go to the screen, mate. He's checked it for you.
Video referees had a couple of looks and decided that I think is it Rapira hasn't put himself in that position to block the ball. So it's been classed as a ricochet, and so Huddersfield get head and feet at the scrum.
Well, they will think that the video referee was against them. Two or three occasions it's gone against the Catalan Dragons here.
They're going to push at the scrum here, the Dragons.
Let's calm down. Let's pat these scrums like we've been doing all game. Come on, heads in. We're staying at the back of the scrum. Let's go,
Campbell
Martin.
getting the scrum packed, and Huddersfield making sure that Catalan can't get the shove on. And now it's Jerry McGilvray.
Paul, all with me. Go, one.
Aiton with the tackle on him.
That was good line speed as well.
Move, Greg.
Sam
all
Moore
with me, Chris Nen.
up quick, trying to force the issue, force the mistake.
To be fair, Sam Moore has stood out for the Catalan Dragons in this performance.
Individually, there has been some good performances, but collectively, I agree with Phil. They've not done the little one-percenters as well as their opponents.
And here's O'Brien, one of their try scorers late on in this game. Game 1, day 2, Magic Weekend. The atmosphere building ahead of Lee against Salford, Leeds against Castleford. Ridyard thumps that ball into touch. Let's keep Catalan down this end of the field now.
He's trying to manage the back end of this game now. Slow the game down. They don't need to score any more points. If they can keep the Dragons down this end of the field.
And Huddersfield on the way to preserving this terrific Magic record. This will be their 7th win in the time of the concept. Only 3 defeats, the draw against the Catalan Dragons, unless something untoward happens in the last couple of minutes here. And it's points that will keep them in with a chance of avoiding the bottom 4 and put the pressure on Catalan. As Gigot goes for a 40-20, but has that got the pace to get to the sidelines? It has! It has, and Gigot, like a man possessed on that 10-metre line, saying, come on, come on, come on! They've got to get back, says the referee, which defeats the whole concept of this thing. So, they go out wide and then come back infield. Referee whistles for a penalty for the Catalan Dragons. Myler, Casti. It's desperate times for the Catalan Dragons now. The clock is against them. They have an 8-point gap to bridge. They've left this passion too late. Walsh, good defence from the Giants in the middle of the field there.
Pass from Myler let him down though, didn't he? He had to stop. The whole potential of that player was lost.
Bousquet, so close. Julian Bousquet, Sam Moa. He deserves something, Sam Moa, for his efforts. Paul Ayton now. Ayton, the pass is intercepted. And, well, that encapsulates a lot of what Catalan have done.
Well, intelligent play. Ryan Hinchcliffe sensed the threat, put himself in the right space, and secured possession and 2 points on the league table, 2 valuable points for them.
They've been desperate, Huddersfield. It hasn't been glitzy, it hasn't been glamorous, but they've been desperate, and more desperate than their opponents, especially in defence.
And Catalan really in a slump. This will be 4 Super League defeats in a row, plus a club record defeat as they exited the Challenge Cup. Jake Mamo thumps that ball out of play as the hooter sounds. The Catalan Dragons dejected on the halfway line. And the Huddersfield Giants breathe a big sigh of relief. They left it late, but they have picked up a valuable win. And this run of good form continues. Beat Leeds, ran the leaders, the Castleford Tigers, very close. And now they've beaten one of their rivals in that middle of the table battle, that top 8 qualifiers zone battle. And given them the chance of avoiding having to be involved in the qualifiers, maybe snatching a top 8 place. It hasn't been one of the prettiest games you'll see at the Magic Weekend, but it has been determined from this Huddersfield Giants side, and that determination, I think, epitomised by the man of the match. As ever, total commitment from Aaron Murphy. Here he is to receive his man of the match award.
Here he is indeed. Total commitment, Bill just said. It had to be, didn't it, in a game like that?
Yeah, we needed it. The last couple of weeks we've been putting good performances together. Like 2 weeks ago we fell away against Cap, but we managed to grind it out, and that's what we needed now. Hopefully a kick start of the season.
You had lots of opportunities, but execution really let you down on many occasions.
Yeah, I suppose so. We've got a new half-back partnership with Martin Rigaudis. I think he's had a really good game, and to have that new half-back partnership and manage to grind out win, I think it's a very good effort from boys.
It was a never-give-up effort as well, wasn't it, Aaron? You had to keep going, and when that first try went over in the latter end, you knew you had it then.
Yeah, well, that's what you do. Just keep, like I said before, against Castleford, we were in a similar sort of position, but managed to lose. So that's what we need to do. We just need to fix up and give a full 8-minute performance.
Well, you get the cheque for it as well. There you go. Oh, it's upside down. £250 to the charity of your choice. Where will it go, Aaron?
Research UK.
Thank you very much. Cheers, thanks, and congratulations. We've got Rick Stone now, the coach of Huddersfield Giants. Rick, I think you played your get-out-of-jail card a bit there, didn't you?
Well, we did a bit. It was probably our goal line defence that won the game for us because we had to defend a little bit more than Catalan did, so really proud of the boys today with that.
You did actually get the tries at the very end that won it for you, but you had lots of opportunities before that.
Yeah, we had a few opportunities we squandered in the first half, and I thought they played a bit better than us for the most part of the second half, but the last 10 or 15 minutes was really important for us.
It's an important win as well, wasn't it, in the great scheme of things in the league table?
Yeah, in the context of things, it was really important. It was a bit will versus skill today, and we needed a little bit more will, and eventually we got there with that. Thank you.
Do you feel you're actually getting somewhere now? You're actually getting a bit of momentum on your side?
Look, our last couple of weeks have been pretty good. You know, we had a win against Leeds, close game against Cass, and then obviously today. But we've still got a bit to go, but at least we're heading in the right direction.
Certainly are. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Rick, for that. We now have Lauren Fraser-New, the coach of Catalan Dragons. Lauren, you must be kicking yourself with some of the opportunities you had there that you missed.
Yes, that's one of the reasons we don't come back in France with the 2 points. We missed some opportunities as well as we had a bit of a brain explosion in the last 10 minutes. So yeah, it's a bit frustrating and it's disappointing because there was some very good defensive effort today.
Great defence, but it wasn't one of the games that was going to light up the Magic Weekend, a real attritional game.
No, it was not. There was some error, there was some lack of discipline, some penalty. You can see there was two teams who were struggling with some injuries or Huddersfield missing Danny Brough, a key player. We struggle with injuries everywhere, so we couldn't expect an electric game in this context.
Thanks for your time, Lauren.
Thank you.
Just the fourth win of the season for the Huddersfield Giants, but what a win. They will stay in 10th position, but to move to within 2 points of the top 8 with an 18 points to 10 victory over the Catalan Dragons. It was 6-6 at half-time, and at half-time, John Wells told me he thought this was a game for the Catalan Dragons if they fixed up the problem areas that he perceived they had in the first half. John, they didn't do that. And Laurent Fraser-New referred to a brain explosion in the final 10 minutes.
Yeah, and you'd have to agree with that. They say there's nothing like a good game of rugby league, and that was nothing like a good game of rugby league. It did, however, need a spark. I think Catalan gifted the game to the Huddersfield Giants. I think the Catalan Dragons on paper, 18 to 20 points, a better team. So why Christian Inu's thought when they're in the lead to do this just outside his own 20 on the 70th minute and hand the initiative to a desperate Giant side, giving Sam Rapira the chance to walk through a fatigued Catalan defence. We mentioned because of the relative inexperience of that bench that there was going to be some men in the middle for that Catalan Dragon side that were going to have to play some big minutes. It showed itself again there, particularly towards the end of the game, but that was no classic. Doesn't matter to Huddersfield, though. They will take the win. They need those points.
Thanks very much, John. Yes, they desperately needed those points, though far from a classic Phil Clark. But I wrote down one word watching that match in reference to the Catalan Dragons, and it was slack. It's a slack performance with ball, with territory on the field, and just taking what seemed to me cheap options.
It felt like a beachside performance, a team that lives near the beach. I don't know whether the climate and the location of the Dragons influences the style of play, but it's very relaxed, isn't it? They'll take risks, they're not too bothered. They don't appear to me too concerned if they lose possession. They'll try risky things, and when they don't come off, they don't come off. But they've had the ability in the past to score the way out of trouble and win games by 30 points to 28. That's not evident anymore because teams have improved their defence against them, and they weren't able to come up with the points they'd needed to win that match.
And if you are correct, if it is a slack or a lackadaisical approach, that when they come up against a side like the Huddersfield Giants, who are desperate, who are playing in front of their chairman, Ken Davey, it was great to see him celebrating that Sam Rapira try.
you will get found out. They got found out today by a more passionate and a higher energy Huddersfield side who did have that extra week build-up.
They did, and you know, really disappointing, because you think when the Catalan Dragons play at their very best, their ability to beat the teams in the top four, it struck me as a performance that we've seen from St Helens at times this season. When, you know, there's been crises, even recently when they conceded 50-odd points at Castleford. They can play far better. They need to find a spark, though, to switch that on and do it very quickly to save any hope of being in that middle group of 8 teams that fight for Super League survival in 2018.
Yeah, the Super 8 qualifiers. Rick Stone, Aaron Murphy breathing a sigh of relief after that game. Murphy hoping he can kickstart their season. Rick Stone noting the importance of this win. They could not afford to lose touch with that top 8.
No, you're right. The gap between them and the rest would have been too wide, wouldn't it, at that point in the season? But you know, they're determined, if nothing else, and you have to admire that determination. They as well would need to play far better, though, to win again. They had an element of luck. A couple of the video referee decisions went in their favour. Without a video referee, there would have been 1 or 2 more Dragons tries on the scoreboard, and it would have been harder for them to win it. But you ride your luck, as they've done in life, and they do in the Super League season, and they've picked up 2 points. They'll be delighted as they travel home, because I noticed the pundits who were asked to predict the results before this game, Barry, Terry and John Wells, all thought the Catalan Dragons were going to win this.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, you gotta remind me of that. I had forgotten that you selected correctly. Okay, the Huddersfield Giants get the 2 points. We've got a break now coming up here on Sky Sports Mix, and after the break we get to see the Lee Centurions in a magic weekend for the very first time, but they're coming up against a side that are riding high in the Super League. Salford, what a season for them. Ian Watson and his boys lie in wait.
What matters is Super League, and
he has lost it.
Dad? It's triplets.
That's nothing!
I've just rented a BMW 5 Series for only £49 from Sixt.
I think I'll call him Son. Car, Son!
Sixt! Drive smug!
A few days ago, Nick had back pain. He struggled to bend, jump or crawl. Wow, what happened?
Voltarol provides up to 3 times more effective pain relief than non-medicated gel. The triple effect of Voltarol relieves pain at source, reduces inflammation, helps speed up recovery. Voltarol, the joy of movement. Visit our Facebook page for a chance to win a year's sports club membership. And whatever you want to get back into, get back on track with us.
I know I want it. But do I deserve it?
Yeah. The Ford Focus ST line. The drive you probably, almost definitely deserve.
Right. Right.
Beer.
Right.
Beer.
Right. Right.
Beer.
Right.
Beer.
Right.
Beer.
Right.
Beer.
This is Jenny from Jump Games. They're growing fast, and she wants business cards that everyone can be proud of. So she's come to Moo. At Moo, we take the things that make you and your business so great and turn them into the perfect paper version of you. and Louisa, Kevin, Mark, and of course Jenny. Okay then. Visit moo.com and get a free sample pack.
Make it look so easy. He's so composed when he goes for that ball.